about it. It started in California in 2009 when a high school teacher was taking, similar to what a lot of us mountain bike coaches have done. He was taking a bunch of kids after school out on mountain bike rides and thought, why don't we have a high school team? So he created a team in their school, and before 2009, of course. And it slowly grew to the point that they had high school mountain biking in most of California's schools. And he decided that he wanted to make it a completely national phenomenon. So his goal in creating NICA was to have cross-country style mountain biking be a high school sport in every state. We currently have leagues in 25 states, 11 years in, which is pretty good. NICA is student focused. It's all about kids developing a community of other kids who want to be outdoors. We have fun together. It's about making sure that they're being safe, improving their skills, and developing a further love for the outdoors. NICA's focus is on having fun. So we go out on rides, and I hope my team could all tell you that the number one priority is that we have fun together. It's not about who gets to the top of the hill first or who's fastest. It's really about enjoying each other's company, enjoying riding. And then racing is actually a component of NICA, but it's not the focus. Anyone can race, but no one is required to. It also builds strong body, mind, and character. That's one of the sort of core emphasis of NICA. And they encourage what they call experiential learning. So NICA's values, and part of why I chose to use NICA, there are a couple ways that you can create bike clubs or bike teams, but NICA drew me in because it is about these values that I feel like aligned pretty well with what I was trying to create and help kids with. So their number one value is fun. So we're trying to get kids together to create friendships, have joy, and it's an adventure. It's a little bit different than other sports. And value number two is being inclusive. So anyone is welcome to participate. There's no tryout, there's no benching. Everyone can ride, everyone can race, everyone is included and supported. We stop on our rides frequently, usually a couple times a ride. We'll stop and work on a technical section, encourage each other up, hard sections. So it's all about being sort of supportive of each other and including everyone in that. Equity, making sure that we treat others fairly and giving everyone equal access to the sport. This is a little more difficult in New Mexico with the sort of disparity in income and opportunities. But NICA has some programs that can help with that so that anyone who wants to ride, we can help eliminate that barrier so that they can get on a bike and join us and participate. The last two values are respect. We expect consideration for all others, ourselves, and the outdoors. We talk a lot about this, about, being respectful when we're on the trail and how to pass politely or, not littering, things like that. And then the fifth value being community. So making sure that we're uniting everyone, bringing a community together with the kids and their families and creating a great experience. The other thing about NICA that I really liked is beyond those values is that they do a lot in safety training. Oh, sorry, I skipped a slide. Or no, I didn't write it down. So NICA's experiential learning is basically that rather than learning like we would if we were sitting in a classroom, we're learning by experience, and specifically unique and new experiences. It's a little different, again, than other sports in that each time you ride a trail, conditions may be a little bit different, or you may feel a little bit different. So a technical section may be a different experience for you. So it's a looser structure than other organized sports. We don't start with, a set warm up and a set drill. It's more about learning new skills, developing those skills, practicing them on the trails, and then really just enjoying the experience of riding. We then work a little bit on increasing endurance, but distance, speed, and winning really aren't our focus. It's more about developing good riders and developing the whole athlete. Again, all these experiences we hope will help grow people's mind, body, and character. So sorry, now we're on to safety. So NICA's safety. We talk a lot about safety in probably every ride, that safety is our number one priority. We have our values of what we really care about, but we also want to make sure that everyone's safe. So we do a lot of drills like this where we learn how to handle bikes, and we remind our kids that this is cross-country style mountain biking. There are some really cool other forms of mountain biking, and they are totally welcome to participate in those things outside of our team practice, but that we are really focusing on developing the cross-country aspect of mountain biking. Along with that safety, all of our coaches are trained in safety and in other areas. Each of the coaches are volunteers, and they have the training in managing risks so that we aren't taking too many risks, and helping with abuse prevention and other things. NICA's biggest thing when they talk about safety is differentiating inherent risk from excessive risk. So mountain biking is inherently risky. And if you took away the risk of mountain biking, you'd be sitting on a trainer in your living room, which doesn't give us that experience and that fun. So we can't fully eliminate the risk from mountain biking, but we can make sure we moderate it by teaching the kids first the skills they need to ride safely, and then choosing trails that are safe for kids, and then also keeping our speed in check so we aren't, flying down the trails. We're riding in a sort of conscientious way. Along with that NICA safety, I just wanted to mention a little bit about our coaching levels. NICA currently has 3 coaching levels. Level 1 is just a basic entry level. If you want to come ride with the team or you want to be a coach, it's just about 2 hours of time, and you learn basic safety, concussion awareness, you learn a little bit about the NICA values, trail etiquette that we expect, and child protection. And then if coaches or parents or anyone in the community is interested, there are other levels. So we can bump up to a level 2 coach who then has on the bike skills training courses. They have increased safety courses. They're required to have a first aid course and certification and in-person coach trainings. And then they are able to go lead rides on a more advanced team where we have the infrastructure for that. Those are the coaches that get to sort of help plan the rides and lead kids out on rides. And then the 3rd level of coach is has a bit more expectation involved, more bike skills training, more safety courses, of course, and more coach trainings. And then all 3rd level coaches are also required to be wilderness first aid certified so that we have appropriate responses for if we're out and somebody gets injured. And safety again, I'm sure you guys might get sick of it just like my teammates do, or my team kids do. So our whole goal, though, like I said, is to have fun. So we want to make sure it's safe, educational, and fun so that we can develop. So we talk a lot about that safe riding, developing our skills before we develop our speed, riding predictably, yielding the trail to all other trail users unless they step off the trail and invite us through. We pass with care, stay on our trails, respect nature. And along with this safety, the coaches model safe riding by usually having a coach in front and a coach in back and making sure that everyone's staying safe and in a sort of riding in a controlled manner. So NICA offers a few programs. We're currently taking advantage of one of them, and that is the NICA team, where we get to ride together with kids. We have those certified coaches. We have some team trainings, we get team rides. And then the other programs that they are currently offering are Girls Riding Together program, which really is, it's a new program that we're hoping to start here. And then Teen Trail Corps, which is more service oriented, and NICA Adventures. So girls riding together, we have some ladies on our team. They're awesome. Currently, NICA has 20% of all of their athletes and coaches are female. So their goal is to increase the number of women and girls who participate and retain those girls. So programs, they have actually a few programs that help get girls out on bikes. They have some programs in summer camp kind of things in a non-COVID world where girls can go ride just with other girls. And then we also will try and do more sort of girls riding with just other girls for some of the rides. The third program, NICA Teen Trail Corps, is a lot about service and outreach. It's just sort of, it's like a badge that the kids can earn, where they can work on speaking and encouraging advocacy for our programs. They can serve by doing things like participating in trail maintenance, working with land managers, helping with community programs. Then they can earn this riding badge by mastering new skills, teaching bike safety courses within the community and demonstrating safety. And the respect specifically for the environment, community, and team. Often they're encouraged in this badge to make a connection with environmental groups in the community and see how they can progress that for the team. So last NICA component is the NICA Adventure program. Another one that we do not yet have, but we are hoping we can get involved with. They do some really cool programs where they'll take kids out on bike packing trips or combine biking with other activities like biking and rafting, things like that. So more things that we can hopefully develop in the future. So what does NICA look like in New Mexico? Currently, all of the New Mexico teams are either part of the Colorado or Arizona League. Because we don't have a league in New Mexico. Arizona itself has over 1,000 riders. I believe Colorado has 2,000 riders, excuse me. But we have about 10 teams throughout this state. And each of those teams have a head coach who's helping us build a New Mexico league. We already have over 100 student riders in our state, but the barrier there is that we all have to travel to either Arizona or Colorado for races. And although races aren't our focus, they're really fun. They're sort of this camping family hangout time, and kids go and cheer on other kids, and it's all about kids. There are no adult races the whole weekend. It's just kids riding with other kids. I took our team in Albuquerque to the Flagstaff race, and they had over 800 riders. So generally there were about 50 to 100 riders per grade. So like, 6th grade girls riding against each other. And it was amazing to see that excitement that they had, because it was their sport and it was about them. So we're building that right now. We're also trying to help build other biking events in our communities and in the state. So most of the teams that are currently riding together support the other race series and ride groups in New Mexico, specifically the Nemours series, the Zia Ride series, and a lot of the NIMBRA and IMBA community groups we try and sort of affiliate with. And then like I said, we want to have an opportunity for kids to compete here instead of driving to Colorado or Arizona for a quick race and driving home. Now, what does NICA look like in our community? This is our NICA team. This is our high school team right here. We have some amazing youth here. They have great attitudes. They're excited to come out and ride. They encourage each other. and they're respectful. They're a ton of fun. So these are our high schoolers. And here's our middle school group, which we just started this year. High school, we were able to start last year. And we had enough young siblings and neighbors and friends who were so interested in writing that we were able to get enough momentum going to start a middle school team this year. And these kids are great too. They have maybe the best trail etiquette of anyone I've ever seen. Most polite little kids saying, "Excuse me, coming up on your left. Thank you very much. Have a great day." I love it. And these kids are whooping and yelling down the trail because they're having so much fun. So here are some of our coaches. All of our coaches are volunteers. Most of us are parents, but we have some community members who volunteer as well. Coach Travis and myself. We got Coach Justin and Eric. And then a little bit more about our team. We've got some more coaches coming up. So we remind our kids, like we talked about before, that safety, fun, respect, community, and developing our skill are the most important things. So our current team motto is ride safe, be kind, work hard, have fun. You can see some of these photos are pre-COVID. We are not masked up because we didn't have to be yet. And some of our, so our NICA team practices, we have our season from June through November. It was a little different this year with COVID restrictions, but we've been, it's helped our kids realize that everybody has to be flexible. We develop a little flexibility through this. We've had to make sure that we recruit more coaches so that we can keep riding. And all of our practices, we focus on a skill, if it's before the ride happens or while we're on the trail. Then we'll stop and master track sections of a trail. And then we'll encourage kids to ride the same trail at least a few times so that they get a better feel for it, they get more comfortable on it, and then they start enjoying themselves a little bit more. And then we also encourage trying new trails so that they don't just ride the same thing over and over and get comfortable with one sort of aspect of riding, and encouraging each other. Every time we stop and work on a little section, everybody comes over and sort of cheers. Now it's every, 4 of us or 5 of us in our little pods, but we all stop and encourage each other through it. Sometimes we'll ride it a couple times until people can get it or they feel like they, gave it their best. More of our coaches. We've got Coach Monica here who helped me start the middle schoolers, and Coach John. And then we've got Warren and Coach Zach here. So all of these coaches have, like I said before, are complete volunteers. They just wanted to get out and help kids get on bikes. So in 2 years of being up here in Los Alamos, we've built, a program with over 20 kids and 8 coaches at this point, just because of the enthusiasm behind mountain biking. So how does NICA help our community? Coaches are volunteers, so they're helping invest in our youth and in youth programs. Students are encouraged to participate in trail work, outdoor service projects. We're teaching trail etiquette, respect, so that we're helping the community be respectful to us, be respectful toward our community, and likewise back toward us. We're also trying to help support New Mexico riding organizations. Like I had mentioned before, there are a lot of groups, like here in Los Alamos, it's the Tough Riders, which is a part of IMBA, and other organizations like that. We can help support them, and also the races that happen in the state. We can help them as well. We bring in a lot more. When we bring in a few kids, we usually bring in a couple more parents too, so it really builds that program up. The more kids we get on bikes, the more support, the more revenue that our local bike shops will see. And then when our kids race, they're ambassadors. They're helping show others in the community or others in the biking world how we like to have fun. And how can you help? So you can come bike with us, sign up as a coach, sign up as an athlete, find ways to help kids get out on bikes. You can support with fundraising, helping organize activities. We try and hold skills clinics and repair clinics to help kids understand how to work with their bike and fix their bike. You can volunteer to help the team organizationally or help develop the New Mexico League. And you can support the race organizations or trail maintenance efforts. There are a lot of things that are behind the scenes that are also needed. So if you're at all interested, please reach out to us, because clearly we have a lot of interest. We have more kids that keep asking almost daily if they can join the team, and with it wrapping up at the end of the season, we're encouraging them to come back next year. So the more the merrier, but we also need the infrastructure to support that. So I'm going to show you guys just a little teeny clip of a NICA video that I love. It gives us sort of the essence of NICA, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Everyone gets to play. There's no bench in this sport. All you got to do is show up and give it your best shot.
It doesn't make a difference if you're going to win a race or if your goal is just to finish a race. There's a place for you on that team, and it's inclusive, and by focusing on those core values of making it fun, treating everyone equally, providing equity so everyone can participate, no one's turned away, and building strong body, mind, and character at the team level. That's the secret sauce. And the communities that are embracing it now have over 100 riders on some of these teams.
Dude, freaking get it. Bad line. Oh yeah, take that right line there. Keep it up. Go get him.
But of course, it's not all fun and games.
To see a kid go through the process of tackling an obstacle, both figurative and literal, and to see them have the grit and determination that if they fall down, that they go and they keep sessioning it until they do it right. That to me is awesome.
You're gonna crash every once in a while, and it's fine. It's getting back up and learning from it and finding that line. You know, we're mountain bikers. We're tough.
So that is my presentation for you. I love how that sort of encompasses mountain biking, and that was a race that those kids were on, and even mid-race the kids, you know, giving another kid input like, oh, take this line. So it's not about, again, not about winning, it's about, you know, helping each other and having fun together. So we'll open it up if you guys have any questions.
There we go. Great presentation. How do we sign up?
Great question. So if we can send out that email that I had on our slideshow, because we, again, are just finishing this season. We aren't registering riders right now, but we'll be sending out information hopefully in about April or May, and hopefully non-COVID shortened session. And then we'll be, so we'll send out information, and then you actually reach out to me to sign up. So it's not just a blanket, you know, we send everybody a registration, but if you decide you want to register as a teammate, then you can register through there.
Awesome. Cool. We have Zach asking, can you please comment on your COVID policies?
Yes, so we have kept with the governor's orders and the NMAA orders or guidelines for COVID, which means that we've had a sort of combination of keeping kids groups under 10 and you know, mask and 6 feet apart, to now it's groups of 5 again, which means that we had to have all of these amazing parents and coaches step up and help so that we could have these small pods. So in a normal bike season, we have all of the high schoolers show up, or all of the middle schoolers show up with all of the coaches, and maybe there are 20 or 30 of us at the trailhead. We work on skills, and then we split into a couple of OB groups. But right now with COVID, we've sort of been able to assess kids' abilities, and we have about 1 coach for every 3 kids. So we have pods of 4, and we ride in masks, we show up, get our temperature checked, try and stay 6 feet apart. And then that's pretty easy once we're riding, because you naturally have to be pretty far apart to not bump into each other. yeah, so we just keep following, and we're hoping we get our last 2 weeks of the season without getting shut down.
Nice. Yeah, that's always the hope, right? Right now. Awesome. Thank you. And I think Addie's going to ask the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, so really quick, Justin just wanted to clarify that 6th graders count as middle schoolers in New Mexico, or for NICA, since in Arizona, 6th graders are normally part of middle school. And then one question from Elaine, is there support to help kids get on a bike or upgrade if they need help?
So that's a great question. We've had in the past loaner bikes that are, $200-$300 bikes that we can sort of fix up, and we usually fix it up as a team, and then a kid can sort of borrow it for the year. That usually lasts a season, and then they realize they'd like a nice bike. So there are, through NICA, they do have scholarship forms. So if a kid does not have the financial ability to pay for a new bike, they can apply for a scholarship. And that can either be through the team or through the league. So the league can, in our case right now, Arizona, hopefully in a year or two, we'll have our New Mexico league. So they'll then offer or grant scholarships to help pay for bikes. And then the other way that we can help kids get new bikes or upgraded bikes is that a lot of NICA's support comes from bike companies. So for instance, Trek offers, I believe it's a 20% discount on bikes for any NICA team members. And once you're a level 3 coach, it's up to like 40% off or something crazy. I believe Salsa and Niner, there are a few mountain bike companies who offer a sizable discount on their bikes so that it's a little less sort of a barrier for kids to get on bikes. And then Trek also makes sure they always have a bike that's about $600 for mountain biking. That's a pretty good entry level bike. It's a pretty good price for an entry level bike. So they always keep a nice, like decent mountain bike that a kid could go buy and ride on a mountain bike team just fine.
Okay, the next question from Ben Tolk is, what days are the practices currently?
Great question. So we had Monday, Wednesday, Friday going when we were able to do group rides. But just, I believe it was 2 weeks ago when the governor again asked us to keep groups under 5, we split it again into smaller pods. And now each pod, so a coach plus 3 kids, that coach is helping the kids figure out what works with their schedule and riding based on that. So my pods are riding Wednesday and Friday, and it just depends on what the coach can do at this point.
I think the next question is asking about contact info for organizations for the bike loaning or scholarships. Oh yeah, for bike.
Yeah. So if if we have a teammate or a kid who's on our team, then we have paperwork that they can submit to our league. Otherwise, I think you would be able to find it on NICA's website. So NICA is nationalmtb.org. And they have all sorts of resources there, including all of the discounts and benefits that NICA members, whether they're riders or coaches, get.
Okay, so this one's from Dylan, and they're saying, you mentioned backpacking or bike packing, sorry. This group seems focused on trail riding and or racing. What kind of interest is there for bike packing in the group?
Good question. So one of our coaches, specifically Coach Travis, bike packs and does long distance bike rides. And so he is interested in helping us develop that. And I guess we hope that we can have that as an opportunity, but right now we're trying to make sure that we have our team going and keep it going. But once we have kids in this group and in this organization, they all become friends and they all want to ride together. And so our previous experiences is that whatever kids are on the team or have been participating in those families, they often start coordinating group rides, bike packing, camping with biking. So a lot of those things happen and become opportunities purely because people want to do them. But the actual like NICA Adventure program is not something that we have in New Mexico, again, because we're still trying to build that new league.
Got it. Cool. It sounds like a good opportunity then.
Yes.
Dylan, if you want to get involved. So we did, Monica did share the email, like the general email to get in, to sign up. So I shared that with everybody in the chat. Any last minute questions? Nope, doesn't look like it.
I have one last thing then, because I totally forgot to mention it. And that is, if you have interest in NICA and if you think you might want to join or you might want to coach, NICA has a pretty strict, like you have to be signed up to be a rider or a coach, just so that we keep our safety protocols and everything. But you can sign a waiver for a one-time ride where you just get to come out and ride with us and see what it's like. Which again, right now we're not doing, but hopefully in the spring we'll get it all going again.
And then Monica's just commenting. She's saying that because we only have a couple weeks left, the signups are for next season. Send the email and they'll get you on the list. And the one-time ride is still an option, obviously. Awesome, great. Well, I'm going to hand it over to you to close it out.
Thanks, Addie. Thanks,
Yeah,
Kristen.
thanks for coming, everyone. This is just, again, I'm going to say that this was our young adult advisory group's first presentation. So if you have any feedback, please let us know. And thanks for coming.
And thank you so much, Mary, for sharing all your knowledge and about your group. I didn't know it existed, and it's really cool that it's out there.
Thank you. Yeah, and thanks to Addie. She's part of our team, if you didn't guess already, and I should have mentioned that. But thanks to Addie for encouraging this to happen. So.
Well, everyone have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much, Mary. Have a good night yourself.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Addie.